Welcome to part 2 of chemoradiation in head and neck. Let us see the 5 R's of radiobiology.
Reoxygenation, the process by which surviving hypoxic tumor clonogens become better oxygenated following a period of irradiation. Repair, the process by which tumor clonogens damaged by irradiation can restore cell integrity. Redistribution, return of tumor clonogens to a more even cell age distribution following selective cell killing in certain phases of cell cycle. Repopulation, the process by which tumor clonogens can replenish cell numbers following a period of irradiation. Intrinsic radiosensitivity, the radiation dose required to produce a defined level of cell inactivation.
So, reoxygenation, repair, redistribution, repopulation, and radiosensitivity are 5 R's of radiation biology.
Modified radiation dose fractionation. Hypofractionation, the use of doses greater than 2 grays per fraction. Hyperfractionation, the use of doses less than 1.8 grays per fraction. Acceleration, reducing overall treatment time by using a dose rate greater than 10 gray per week used in conventional treatment. Hyperfractionated radiotherapy. Hyperfractionated radiotherapy utilizes doses less than 1.8 gray per fraction to deliver radiation treatment. A large number of fractions are delivered over the same period of time as a conventional schedule by delivering multiple fractions per day. Smaller doses per fraction reduce the probability of late effects. However, an interfraction gap of a minimum of 6 hours is recommended to allow for normal tissue healing. Although tissue such as central nervous system may require a longer period for repair.
So, we think that hyper means it is not the amount, it is the number of times. Okay, hyper means number of times, 1.8 is given, and if you are giving a number of times the less amount of radiation, you give a gap of 6 hours in between for normal tissue healing. 6 hours in between for normal tissue healing, and otherwise you give more number of fractions. That is why you can call it as hyperfractionated radiotherapy. CNS is very much sensitive, of course.
Hyperfractionation allows a higher overall dose to be delivered with the objective of improving tumor control while reducing the risk of incurring excessive late damage, as exemplified by EORTC 22791 trial, comparing a hyperfractionated schedule of 80.5 gray given in 70 fractions, 1.5 gray per fraction, 2 fractions per day over 7 weeks, to a conventional dose of 70 gray using 35 to 40 daily fractions in 356 patients with oropharyngeal cancer.
So, you can understand by this that the objective is to improve the tumor control by reducing the risk of late damage. So, the late damage is less in hyperfractionation, as we see. So, late damage is less in hyperfractionation because you are giving same amount but number of times is more.
5-year local control was increased from 40 to 59% with a trend towards increased survival without incurring a higher risk of late tissue damage. The benefit of hyperfractionated radiotherapy over conventional schedules has further been shown by an individual patient meta-analysis of 15 trials involving 6,515 patients. This showed a significant survival benefit for altered fractionation schedules, with the benefit being greatest for hyperfractionated radiotherapy.
So, according to this study, hyperfractionation is better than altered fractionation.
Despite promising results, hyperfractionated radiotherapy has failed to gain widespread acceptance because of resource constraints and the considerable demands upon patients' psychological and physical tolerance for undergoing 70 fractions of radiotherapy.
So, number of fractions are more here in a lesser time. Psychologically, physically, it is very difficult for the patient to bear.
Normal tissue responses to ionizing radiation. Early. Normal tissue toxicity expressed within few weeks to few months after exposure. Mucositis, skin erythema, alopecia, otitis. Late. Normal tissue toxicity expressed months to years after exposure. Xerostomia, skin fibrosis, osteoradionecrosis, hypothyroidism, secondary cancers. Consequential. Chronic toxicity as a consequence of severe early effects. Non-healing mucosal ulcer. Accelerated radiotherapy. By delivering more than 5 fractions per week, accelerated radiotherapy reduces overall treatment time while maintaining same total dose and number of fractions compared to a conventional treatment schedule, with the object of counteracting the negative impact of tumor cell repopulation.
So, this accelerated radiotherapy is acting on this tumor repopulation. It doesn't give time. The fractions per week are more here, and the treatment time is reduced, but dosage is same. So less time, more amount of dosage is given, and the number of fractions are maintaining the same total dose and number of fractions compared to conventional therapy. So it acts upon the repopulation times, one of the R of the 5 R's.
A trial of accelerated radiotherapy giving multiple fractions a day was abandoned early due to high rates of grade 4 acute mucosal toxicity. While dose reduction in the accelerated arm reduced acute toxicity but failed to demonstrate improved disease-free or disease-specific survival or loco-regional control. The Danish DAHA-NCA 6 and 7 randomized trials involving 1,476 patients randomized patients to 5 or 6 fractions a week. Acceleration was achieved by treating on the weekend or by delivering 2 fractions on one day with the interfraction gap of at least 6 hours, thus reducing the overall treatment time by 1 to 2 weeks.
So they are reducing the treatment time by 1 to 2 weeks by accelerated fractionation. So accelerated fractionation is giving more in less time.
There was a statistically significant improvement in loco-regional control and disease-specific survival in favor of accelerated radiotherapy, but no overall survival benefit was demonstrated. Another study of similar design involving 350 patients failed to demonstrate a significant improvement in local control for accelerated fractionation. However, the smaller number of patients in the study may explain the negative results.
So in this we are understanding that survival benefit is not there. Of course, the accelerated fractionation is worked out in few situations.
When the next logical step was taken to avoid all weekend breaks by using a 7-day per week treatment schedule, the result was an unacceptable 22% rate of consequential damage. 5-year local tumor control rates were 33 versus 75%, and there was statistically significant overall survival benefit in favor of accelerated radiotherapy.
Here you could see, if instead of giving 5 days a week therapy, you give 7 days a week, so there is a increase in consequential damage. There is a third type of complications of radiation. Okay, consequential damage is more, and you are giving more amount of radiation without any gap. So that is very important here.
Reducing dose per fraction from 2 gray to 1.8 gray eliminated the phenomena of consequential damage. Perhaps one of the most important messages from this trial is the demonstration of the criticality of seemingly small changes in radiation dose fractionation. Accelerated hyperfraction. The radiobiological rationale for combining both approaches is twofold: to overcome the effect of tumor clonogen repopulation and to reduce late tissue damage.
So here you can understand, repopulation is related to acceleration. Okay, repopulation is related to acceleration, and reducing the late tissue damage is by means of hyperfractionation. Reducing the late tissue damage is by means of hyperfractionation. These two combinedly together is called as accelerated hyperfractionation.
A 4-arm randomized trial comparing hyperfractionation versus accelerated fractionation with concomitant boost versus acceleration with 2-week rest during treatment versus conventional fractionation demonstrated that both hyperfractionation 81.6 gray in 68 fractions over 7 weeks and acceleration with concomitant boost 72 gray in 42 fractions over 6 weeks were associated with improved local control rates, but overall survival was similar in all arms.
So this was a study that overall survival was similar.
All 3 altered fractionation schedules resulted in significantly greater acute but not late side effects. In the EORTC 22851 randomized trial, 512 patients with advanced head and neck cancer were randomized to an accelerated hyperfractionated schedule, 72 grays in 45 fractions over 5 weeks, or to a conventional schedule, 70 gray in 35 fractions over 7 weeks. Hyperfractionated accelerated radiotherapy improved loco-regional control by 13%, but at the expense of a 14% risk of severe late tissue damage, including 2 cases of radiation myelitis, another example of unacceptable damage resulting from relatively small changes in dose and fractionation.
So hyperfractionation along with acceleration, it leads to late tissue damage and radiation myelitis. Of course, this experiment proved that.
Perhaps the most radical approach is exemplified by the chart. Continuous hyperfractionated accelerated radiotherapy trial. which to date is one of the largest head and neck radiotherapy fractionation trials. 918 patients were randomized to either a conventional fractionation, 66 gray in 33 fractions over 6.5 weeks, a highly accelerated and hyperfractionated schedule, 54 gray in 36 fractions over 12 days. There was no significant difference in control or survival parameters between the control and experimental of the trial. However, late effects appeared to be less for chart, suggesting that the overall radiation dose reduction was perhaps greater than necessary. A similar accelerated and hyperfractionated schedule was investigated in the adjuvant setting, whereby 70 patients were randomized to receive 46.2 grays over 12 days, 3 fractions per day of 1.4 gray with a 6-hour interfraction interval for 6 days per week, or a conventional dose of 60 grays for 5 days per week over 6 weeks. Improved 3-year locoregional control rates, 88 versus 57%, were achieved with the experimental arm, but this did not translate into a statistically significant survival benefit, 60 versus 46%.
So one point of interest we are trying to see here is this chart is having less late effects appear to be much lesser. So late side effects are very less in chart.
Furthermore, both early and late reactions were increased in the experimental arm, with the latter considered to have resulted from higher incidence of consequential damage. The study indicated that optimal results are achieved if the interval between surgery and radiotherapy does not exceed 6 weeks and if the overall treatment time is kept to within 10 weeks.
The point to be noted here is there is a chance for consequential damage, and then optimal results will come if we give radiation within 6 weeks and within the 10 weeks, maximum 10 weeks. Thank you for watching accelerated hyperfractionation and chart in this particular video. Thank you for watching ENT Student.